Good evening, everybody. It's currently 2:28 in the morning my time, and I have been spending this whole pretty much evening trying to get familiar with OBS. So, the next time I go live, I should be able to stream on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So that'll be cool. So I thought, why not go ahead and just, since I have a little bit of time, go ahead and record a video for YouTube, because I need to put more games up on YouTube. So we will go ahead and start with a game called Pangs You Are Hungry. The summary is, when was the last time you ate? You can't remember. In fact, you can't remember anything, not even your own name, and yet your sudden amnesia doesn't strike you as particularly important. You are hungry, and that is all you need to know. And that is the summary. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a horror visual novel as well. You are awake. The first sensation you become aware of is one of discomfort and pain, an ache that encompasses your entire body, permeating your muscles and bones. An ache that only grows stronger as the fog surrounding your consciousness slowly lifts. Just how long were you asleep for? Here, let me go ahead and scooch over. Okay. And come to think of it, where are you? Certainly not in bed, or even anywhere remotely comfortable. Let's examine our surroundings. The stench of garbage and piss fill your nostrils before your vision even properly adjusts to the darkness. An alley? Really? You pull yourself off the grimy pavement. What a terrible place for a nap. And examine ourselves. You do a half-hearted job of dusting yourself off as you look down at your outfit. You're dressed rather nicely, you think. Appropriate for a night out on the town. Or you would be if it were not for that one big rip right there. And hang on, is that blood? You wonder where you were headed. Did you get mugged on the way? Maybe there was an altercation and you were knocked unconscious. You pat your pockets, and sure enough, they're empty. No wallet, and no phone either. That must be it then. You take a step forward, and you feel your stomach lurch. Unsurprising, given your surroundings. You double over as what feels like liquid fire rises up in your throat, and you spew it out on the ground. Bile splashes on your shoes, another accessory to add to your torn and blood-spattered outfit. As you straighten yourself back up, you become utterly sure of one thing, one sensation. And oddly enough, it's not nausea. It's that pain you felt before, and now you know it to be hunger. Oh, you are so hungry. When was the last time you ate? You can't remember. In fact, you can't remember anything, not even your own name. But your sudden amnesia doesn't strike you as particularly important right now. You are hungry, and that is a far more pressing matter. Before you can work out the logistics, what time is it? Are there still restaurants open? How will you pay without a wallet? The sound of smashing glass snaps your gaze out toward the street. Someone's headed this way, and you freeze, torn between hiding or standing your ground. I would presume you would want to hide, so let's go hide. You duck behind an overflowing skip, struggling to hold your breath. Has your sense of smell always been this sensitive? You feel as though you can pick out each individual piece of waste and rotten food. A young man stumbles drunkenly into the alley, probably after haphazardly disposing of a bottle. That must have been the sound you heard. He seems harmless, probably more of a danger to himself than others. He doesn't even notice as he walks right past your hiding spot. You notice, though. There's something about him that draws your attention. You can't see much from your spot, but you hear a zip and a stream of, well, you try your best to stay still and give the lattice privacy. He must have drank a lot, but you wait patiently. You're not even quite sure why. You finally hear him zip up, turning to leave. As he walks past you again, you smell him. This is what you stuck around for. He smells sweet, even, and there's a part of you that tries to deny this. Good enough to eat. And you're hungry. You're so awfully hungry. In fact, you're so hungry you could just... But there's no way. You wouldn't, right? Oh, we can only put we are hungry, so looks like we're gonna go take a bite out of him. Before you know what you're doing, you reach out and grab him from behind. He moves on instinct. Maybe he intended to run or fight back or call for help. But you'll never know for sure because you snap his neck easily. Oh. You're barely cognizant of your actions. It feels like you're running on pure muscle memory. How did you know what to do? Were you always this strong? You now feel two things, hunger and guilt. You are guilty, you are hungry. Let's see if we can keep a little bit of humanity. Let's say we're guilty. You look over the young man. Young is right. He's honestly more a boy than a man. Your stomach churns. Unlike you, he still has his wallet on him. But this isn't your run-of-the-mill mugging, is it? A quick rifle through tells you enough. A first-year university student. So you at least know what city you're in now. Probably on his way home from a night out. His flatmates might already be wondering where he is. You start thinking of the investigation, the police, and oh, your hands are quite literally stained with his blood. But still, the guilt over what has happened and the fear of what might happen are not enough to sate you. You are hungry. You are so hungry. You are so incredibly hungry. Let's do the last one. You bite into the boy, breaking skin. Warm liquid oozes into your mouth. You didn't notice how painfully dry your throat was before, but as you swallow, you feel the discomfort recede. The taste of his blood is sweet, and oddly familiar, but it is not enough. You are still hungry. You tear into his flesh with your teeth. There's a slight resistance before it rips away easily. After you swallow your first bite, you curiously run your tongue over the edges of your teeth. They're sharp, as though they've been filed. The meat tastes sweet, like his... No, you're forgetting. It's blood. But as you continue to devour your meal, you notice a slight aftertaste. You think for a brief moment before it comes to you. Sweat mixed with cheap vodka. The thought of it, full of life just a few moments ago, wasting the last hours of its life in a grimy club. Well, it's pathetic. Wait, pathetic? Shouldn't you feel guilt? Shouldn't you feel sorry? But now, it's nothing to you but prey beneath you. No matter. You are full. You wipe your mouth on your sleeve, and honestly, there's probably no saving this outfit anyway. And look at the carcass of your impromptu meal. There's quite a lot left. Flesh still on the bone, some parts even untouched. Your prey was a fair bit bigger than you, so of course you couldn't finish it all. There's a part of you that thinks it's a bit of a waste, but you can't possibly carry that out onto the street, and oh, that's right, you don't even remember where you live, so where would you take it? Now that your overwhelming hunger is no longer your main concern, all the little issues that didn't seem important a few minutes ago start to flood your mind. And they're not as little as they initially seemed. What will you do with the body? What will you do about your clothes? Where should you go from here? You have no money, no identification, no home. A voice cuts through your thoughts. What are you doing? The voice is calm, contrary to your expectations. That sentence would have made more sense in context had it been punctuated with exclamation points, and possibly shouted in a voice laced with fear. The owner of the voice steps into the alley. Slight build, blonde hair, youthful face. They cast a cold gaze over you. Young one, I am speaking to you. Their narrowed eyes search yours, and you feel compelled to answer, but with what? Your voice cracks as you speak, rusty from disuse. How long has it been since you spoke to anyone? You lick your lips anxiously, tasting blood. It's probably still all over your face, isn't it? You clumsily give your mouth another wipe, this time with the back of your hand. You must look a terrible fright, yet this stranger does not seem shocked at all. You blink up at them helplessly. You are a young one, aren't you? Absolutely coated in blood, letting your beast roam free. Has no one even explained the basics to you? Who is your sire? They demand answers, and you rack your brain for something, anything, you can say to them. You remember little save for your hunger. You are no longer hungry, but perhaps you could still eat? Search for a reply, force yourself to eat. It's probably safer to reply. I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Your voice is unfamiliar to you, as if you are hearing it for the first time, and it is uncomfortable. You are what you are, covered in blood no less. And I am approaching you as if I am reprimanding a child, not apprehending a murderer. Take a guess, but don't waste any more of my time. They talk of sires and young ones, despite looking so youthful themselves. You know what word you are grasping for, but you struggle to say it. You can't possibly be one of them, right? That's just something for cheap horror stories or romantasy fiction. And yet, there's no other conclusion. So cheap horror it is. Because you have a feeling this isn't ending in romance for you. Vampires. There is no upward lilt to your speech. It is not a question. It is a little funny, actually. The absurdity of it all. But the world feels like it applies. But the word feels like it applies. After all, you're just gorged on a human in an alley. A cliche of the genre, what else could you be? Very good. Now, let us be on our way. They speak as though it had already been decided that you will follow them. And there's something about that arrogance that sets you off. Especially once you get up off the ground and realize that you tower over them. Put them in their place or just follow them. Probably just to follow them since they're not scared of us. You nod meekly, taking a step closer to them. You think you see a glimmer of approval in their eyes, but it's too dark to know for sure. Now, would you like to take home your leftovers? Or shall I send in a cleanup crew? Their tone is dry, but you think it was an attempt at a joke to ease your nerves. You simply shake your head in response. Perfect. Come along. Now. As you follow them, one of your seemingly unimportant turned important issues resurfaces in your mind. Namely, your appearance. All torn clothes and bloodstains, if anyone saw. But the stranger knows the city well, and not just like a local. They guide you through dimly lit streets, taking detours to avoid human traffic, and whispering instructions the entire way. When to duck, when to proceed, and even when you're allowed to breathe, lest you draw attention to yourself. You try to keep aware of your surroundings as you follow them, to remember where they're taking you, but all the twists and turns has your head spinning. We have arrived. Stood at the front door, you look up at the building. A twinge of recognition hits you. You get the feeling that you've walked past this building often, maybe on your way to work. It's strange the things you remember. You don't have the faintest idea of what you did for work, but somehow, you remember walking by this old hotel, long abandoned but not demolished. Maybe it's a listed building, left standing for the sake of historical significance. It is a residence of our kind. For historical significance and for vampires to squat in, apparently. They seem to mistake your getting lost in thoughts as hesitance. What are you waiting for? An invitation? Wipe your feet on the way in. You don't know what you are expecting, but the place is remarkably unimpressive. The furniture is mismatched and worn, as if cobbled together from charity shops. You idly wonder which pieces were original to the old hotel. It will be morning soon, so I suggest you go to bed. They are already heading down the hallway as they speak, calling out instructions behind them. And not out here. The sun will put an end to your miserable existence through those windows. The room at the end of the hall, upstairs, is free. Finally, if you are considering running away, I doubt you would make it anywhere else before daylight. You nod mutely, although they cannot see it, and head off in the direction you are told. They offer one last sentence to you before they shut their door. We will speak after sunset. A wave of exhaustion hits you as you step into your room for the night. Heavy with your meal and 1,000 questions in your head, you let your weary body fall onto the bed. You don't even remember closing your eyes. You wake up to a knock on your door and the same arrogant voice from last night. The sun has set. That was fast. You mumble something in response, certainly not an invitation, and the door swings open without further hesitation, light from the hallway filling your room. You blink your eyes open to the sight of their repulsed expression staring down at you. Please, make yourself presentable and come next door. They shut the door without even waiting for your acknowledgement. Even with the use of the word please, you can tell it is more a demand than request. With that, you are left alone in your room. You throw the covers off your body. You look down and you realize the sheets are covered in dried blood, and so are you. You were so tired last night, or morning, that you just collapsed onto the bed without regards to the state you were in. Okay, can we save? I think this is the save button. Okay, cool. Let's look around the room. It is oops, sorry, I dropped the mouse. It is a disappointingly average room, having the bare minimum that you would expect from a budget hotel room. Nothing more, nothing less. A bed, a bedside table, a wardrobe, and a door that presumably leads to the bathroom. Let's check the table. You check the bedside table, pulling out the drawer. There is nothing inside, certainly not a copy of the Bible. Makes sense. You try the switch for the lamp. There's a crackling sound as it switches on for a brief second, and then it's gone again. You're guessing no one's used this room in a while. And we'll go in... let's check the bed. The threadbare sheets on the bed are caked in dried blood. There's nothing to be done about it now, so you decide to just leave it be. An image jumps into your head, and one of a full staff of vampires running this hotel. Housekeeping and laundry and all. Wouldn't that be nice? And I think there's one more thing. You open the wardrobe and peer inside. Several shirts and dresses dangle off hangers, with some trousers folded neatly at the bottom. Were these prepared in advance for whatever wayward vampires they pick up off the streets? Or were they just left behind by former residents of the room? You grab a set of clothes that looks to be your size, and you give them a good whiff. Musty, but probably still better than what you've got on. Okay, so let's go to the bathroom. You step into the bathroom. There's a toilet, a sink, and a bathtub. Nothing else, not even a mirror. You try turning the knobs for the bathtub to no avail. They're rusted firm. It looks like you won't be able to wash all this blood off of you, but at least you've got a fresh set of clothes. What about the sink? Oh, okay. You're not sure if your current appearance counts as presentable in their eyes, but it's as good as it's going to get. You certainly took your time, and yet... You're all too sure of what they mean to imply, trolling off like that. And yet, you still look awful. In contrast to the sorry picture you must make, they're dressed in another stiffly formal outfit, sat at an antique table with 2 coffee mugs. They gesture for you to take the seat across from them. You pull up one of the mismatched chairs and sit yourself down. The man answers immediately or made an excuse for your appearance. I feel like Let's do the bottom one, because we attempted to get clean. There wasn't a mirror in my room. Yes, we removed those. Most of the young ones who join us have difficulty being around mirrors. But I keep forgetting you wouldn't be aware of that. Our kind have no reflections. You think you can hear them sniff as they look at you with obvious distaste. There is a working shower in one of the other rooms. 3rd floor, 2nd door from the landing. You may want to bathe after you smell this. You smell human. So they know you don't have a working bath. They could have said so last night. They push one of the mugs towards you. It is not coffee. You swallow involuntarily. You remember last night you were hungry. I feel like they give us blood, and it's probably not the best thing to get lost in our hunger, so let's do this one. You remember the events of last night, and how you forced yourself to think of that boy as other. And yes, he is other now, because you are not human, not anymore. That twinge of guilt is soon swept away by the memory of the taste of his blood, his flesh. You are hungry, so hungry. You bring the mug to your lips, about to drink from it. You do not need to finish it to know that this one mug will not satisfy you. You see them eye you over their own drink, watching you carefully. You wonder if you should hold back. But you are hungry. Let's try to restrain ourselves. You take a small sip, an exaggeratedly dainty motion. It is sweeter than the meal you had last night, and the flavor is more delicate. When did you become so well versed in noticing these subtle changes in taste? You take another drink slowly. They seem to approve. Yet you are still hungry. You wonder how the meat from this harvest would have tasted like. Probably far better than your dinner last night. Like the difference between fast food burgers and filet mignon. You swallow your saliva as you think about it. Put it out of mind. Out of mind. Out of mind. You struggle to keep your thoughts off the flesh. You have a mug in front of you. It seems to be enough for them. So why shouldn't it be enough to satisfy you? It is enough, you tell yourself. It is enough. It is not enough. You down the rest of the contents in your mug in one go in an attempt to distract yourself. It does not help. You are hungry. They raise an eyebrow at your actions. Hungry, are we? You lick your lips carefully, not to waste any of the pitiful meal you were offered. You don't reply. It is obvious what your answer is. You should get used to it. We do not eat the flesh of humans. They still have not finished their mug, and you eye it. They have set their drink on the table. They are not drinking it. They are not hungry. Nope, we only got one choice. You are hungry. You grab their mug with speed you didn't know you had. They do not bat your hand away or try to take it back as you would expect. Pleased with your small victory, you look down into the mug. It is half empty. It is not enough. By all means, gorge yourself on blood. They continue their little lecture, unperturbed by your actions. But I hope you do hear me. We do not eat the flesh. Those of our kind that do, let's just say they are not welcome at any of the soirees we hold within our society. Why? It is not idle curiosity that drives this question of yours, but utter disbelief. Why would they not? Surely blood isn't enough to sustain them. It certainly isn't enough for you. The hunger gnawing at you from inside as you set down the second mug. It is a common belief that taking from the flesh feeds the beast within. We are all monsters. Make no mistake about that. But those that partake, I would call them more animal. It is not just up to me. For the sake of preserving our society and secrecy, it is typically protocol to eliminate the flesh eaters. So I'm assuming they drink animal or eat animal blood. But you are still a young one, lacking education and a sire. So I am offering you a second chance. I do sorely hope that my kindness was not wasted on you. You nod. The hunger inside you grows. Are they done? Well, I can see that your attention is waning. I suppose it would be too much to educate you on our society while you are still adjusting. So if you remember nothing else, the main takeaway from today is that you will no longer eat flesh. I'll be clear. Agree or say nothing? We'll agree. Crystal. Excellent. Oh, and please try to be a little less... They gesture generally in your direction. When you meet me here again tomorrow, you are free to wander the building as you like, but I would prefer it if you did not leave, for now. Not until you are less of a liability, shall we say. Demands framed as requests and threats dressed up as preferences, you suppose this is just standard with them. You shut the door behind you, with the rest of your day or night still ahead of you, but well, what do? You start by walking down the hallway, taking stock of all the doors you pass. Most are guest rooms. There are a number of them. Vampires, well, your kind, you suppose, living here it seems. As you take your sweet time exploring, you are overtaken by a giggling duo with linked arms. Their excitement is clear to see, entirely wrapped up in their own little world. Probably on their way out for the night. You feel a slight sense of envy. Can you tell I'm tired? It's 2:55 in the morning, I'm so sorry. You make your way down the stairs to the ground floor, shoulder checking someone coming up. They've got their nose in a book, too absorbed to even tell you to watch where you're going. No one seems to want to speak to you, and you care little. They are unimportant. Only one thing matters. You are hungry. There is a faded floor plant mounted on the wall, a leftover from when this hotel was still functional probably. You suspect that they haven't bothered with any major renovations, so the list of rooms and amenities should still be fairly accurate. Go to the kitchen, go to the library, go to the game room. Ooh. I feel like the kitchen would be the obvious choice, but I want to go to the library. But let's probably save it just in case. Okay. Perhaps a good book would serve to distract you from the incessant pain coming from within you. You browse the shelves of the library. The furniture in the room is so old and worn, you worry a little that just the slightest of movements, like simply removing a single book, might cause everything to tumble over. You find a book and manage to remove it from the shelf without incident. You get a feeling of warmth and familiarity as you flip through the pages and read the summary on the back. You think, no, you know that this book is one that you loved in the past. You remember nothing of the story. What a blessing it will be to read a book so dear to you and be able to experience it fresh, right from the beginning once again. You start at the first page. You read a single sentence, then you read it again and again. You cannot concentrate. The gnawing in your stomach grows ever more. You read the first sentence again. There's no use. You're too hungry for this. You angrily toss the book aside. You were stupid for trying to place something so human as a petty novel above your base survival instinct. You are hungry. And you are angry. You're not sure at who or what. You take a deep breath in, and then out. It does little to calm you down. You head back to your room to stew. Oh, wonder if I should have gone to the kitchen. Oh well. With nothing left to do and your stomach threatening to devour you from inside, you decide to go to bed early. You try your best to control the hunger, to ignore it. You do not want to be a liability. You do not want to be eliminated. You are not hungry. You are not hungry. You are not hungry. Lies. You tell lies. You try to comfort yourself with lies, but they do not sate your hunger. You pull the covers, still caked with blood, dry, spoiled, inedible, up over your head. It takes you a long time to fall asleep. It is a restless sleep, and you do not dream. You are hungry. You wake up. There is no knock on the door, no arrogant voice. What time is it? You stick your head out from under the covers. There's a tiny sliver of light falling across the floor of your room. They must have missed a spot while boarding up the windows. If you had to guess, it's probably a bit before sunset. Everyone else must be asleep. But you're awake, and you're hungry. You lay there wondering if you should get up. You run through the possibilities in your mind. Where could they be hiding food in this place? The kitchen? The blood they serve you has to come from somewhere, right? You think of humans being farmed like cattle. A ridiculous idea, and yet you groan. You are hungry, but you are also tired. Do you even have the energy to get up to look for food? Maybe it would be best if you tried to get back to sleep. At the very least, they will likely have a mug ready for you when it's time to get up and meet them. But still, you're hungry now, and the pitiful amount they are sure to offer you will not be enough. You are tired, you are hungry. Interesting. Can we actually starve ourselves, though? Let's see what happens. You pull the covers back over your head. Sleep does not come, but they do soon. Another knock on your door. Another announcement. The sun has set. Please, meet me in the same room as yesterday, at your earliest convenience. They do not enter your room tonight. Are they being respectful of your privacy? Or do they just not want to be subjected to the sight of your increasingly filthy quarters? Either way, you hear footsteps padding away. Your body aches, and you contemplate just burrowing back into your blankets. But a single, sudden thought cuts through your sleep deprivation, and it becomes your only motivation to get up. They will likely feed you when you go meet them. You peel the bloodstained sheets off your body, still damp with your sweat. Actually, filthy might be understating it. You remember the working shower they mentioned yesterday. The 3rd floor, wasn't it? But your stomach growls again, insistently. They did want us clean, though. We should probably take a shower, though. We are probably gross. Remembering the working shower they mentioned yesterday, you grab another set of clothing from the wardrobe. There are no towels to be found. Some hotel this is, so you do without. 3rd floor, 2nd from the landing. In comparison to yours, this bathroom looks relatively maintained. The floor is wet when you step in, dampness still in the air. Likely someone has just used it before you. Maybe this is the only working bathroom in this whole building. You strip the filthy clothes from your body and step into the shower. It takes a bit of force. The handle squeaks in protest as you put your weight into it, but you manage to turn the shower on. Water pours out, running in rivulets down your body. There is no hot water. Soap is also apparently a luxury that doesn't exist in this bathroom, so you scrub. You scrub at the blood, and it washes away easily, but the smell doesn't. It amplifies, clinging to the humidity in the room. You smell the blood. You smell of humans. It makes you sick. It makes you hungry. We're trying to fight hunger right now, so let's say it just makes us sick. And that makes you sick. The fact that you find yourself salivating involuntarily at the smell of blood, knowing where it came from, knowing what you've done, just makes your stomach twist all the more. Guilt and hunger intermingle. Perhaps they are one and the same. All you know is the all-consuming void within you. It hurts. You watch the water, tinged with dirt and blood, flow down the drain. You step out of the shower. Thankfully, it is much easier to turn the shower off. Your fresh set of clothes stick to your skin as you pull them on. Out of habit, you turn to the sink to look yourself over in the mirror. There is no mirror. You give yourself a sniff. Maybe this is the best you can do. You weren't even provided soap or a towel after all. A faint memory resurfaces. There was a scent you loved once. I was going to say cinnamon, but it's not on here. Sandalwood, lavender, or bergamot. I think bergamot has like some citrusy undertone, so let's go with that one. Yes, bergamot. The thought of the smell triggers the slightest of recollections. You think you remember a voice, a laugh, accompanied with eyes that crinkled up with delight. But just as quickly as it comes, it passes. Maybe you can ask them to stock up on some bergamot soap. That would be nice. You catch yourself. Are you seriously thinking you'll be staying here for a prolonged period of time? I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. maybe this is the best option, living amongst others like you. You are a beast now, and maybe you need rules and structure to keep you in check. And maybe you'll find someone who understands. Although it doesn't seem others struggle with the hunger as much as you do. Maybe it's just a matter of time. You wonder if all young ones go through the same things you are going through. In any case, you've dallied long enough. You should also probably stash your soiled clothes back in your room before meeting them, after all. You head down the stairs, brushing shoulders with someone on their way up, clothes and towel in hand. So that was the only working bathroom in the building. Your hair is still soaking wet when you meet them, trailing droplets of water that stink into the well-trodden carpet. Are you quite sure you bathed? You still have the smell of human on you. In fact, it might be worse. Another day, or night really. Another pleasant greeting, still. You're willing to put up with it as long as you get. Your breakfast. They gesture to the table, 2 mugs placed on top of it. And you don't need any further encouragement. You snatch one up, lifting it to your lips. The liquid is warm, thick, sweet, and not enough. You lick around the edges of the mug, making sure you haven't wasted a bit. You set the empty mug back on the table. It is nowhere near enough. That one's yours too. You wonder if they expect you to be grateful for this. You are not. This offering is but a pittance to that of all-demanding, all-consuming pain within you. This is to be your only sustenance until tomorrow. I would definitely try to take my time. You take a sip, trying to shove the hunger back down. It claws its way back up, scratching at your esophagus. You swallow. Maybe making conversation will help. Ask where the blood comes from. Ask when you can leave. The top one? Where do you... The words do not come out easily. Fortunately, they seem to understand what you're trying to get at. We have an agreement with a local hospital. And that's enough to feed everyone staying here. It's hardly enough for you. The packaged blood is typically for the newcomers. Young ones like you. Most of the others prefer to hunt. A hunt? Nothing like the scene you made 2 nights ago, of course. You will be permitted to hunt as well, once you can prove to me, us, that you will not be a danger to our society and secrecy. You're not sure if you're expected to respond to that. You lift your drink back up to your lips. Oh, we got no choice but to drink it. Despite your best efforts, you find that you can't hold back any longer. You chug the remaining liquid down, not even stopping to breathe. Clearly, you have a lot more work to do before you'll get permission to hunt. You don't set the mug back on the table. You cradle it in your hands, running your fingers along the bottom. How have you been feeling? You feel hungry, you feel lost. I mean, I feel like both choices would make sense. Are you hungry? Hungry. Yes, I can see that much. I should have clarified. Have you felt any new changes? Changes? Most of our kind have a unique gift, a preternatural ability, passed down from sire to spawn. Knowing what yours is would help me close in on your mysterious sire. Ooh, we get gifts as vampires. And why do you need to know that? We can't have a rogue vampire loose on the streets, forcing the change on unsuspecting humans, can we? Once I find them, they will be dealt with. So, have you felt anything? As for more information, you don't really feel different. Can we ask for more information? By preternatural ability, you mean some of our kind have gifts that are more physical. Inhuman strength, speed, things of that nature. Those will be easy to spot. Mental gifts such as glamour, compulsion, or recognition tend to be more subtle. They may take a while before you become aware that you possess those abilities. Have you felt even a hint of any of these things? You rack your mind for examples. You don't feel anything. There was a time in that alley. Oh, so did we feel something? One thing does come to mind now. There was that time in the alley I snapped his neck. And I snapped his neck. It felt like I just knew what to do. While crude, that is something that a human is perfectly capable of doing. Not a sure sign of vampiric strength or speed, unfortunately. I suppose you're right. Come to think of it, you had trouble turning on a shower earlier today. Maybe not in human strength, then. No abilities, then. How about your memories? Any idea how you ended up in that alley? You think and think, but nothing comes to mind. You shake your head. Pity. Well, give it a few more days, then. Their dismissive attitude irks you, treating your memory loss like it's some sort of minor inconvenience, but ultimately unimportant. Your life was turned upside down a few days ago, and you can't even remember what you've lost. Now all you know, all you are, is hunger. Despite the 2 mugs you downed earlier, your mouth is dry. You force to swallow, but the motion only serves to aggravate the scratching pain in your throat. They aren't drinking anything today, you notice with disappointment. If they were, maybe you'd have been able to snatch up their serving as well. Why aren't they drinking? Aren't they hungry? Maybe they prefer to hunt. You'd prefer that too, you think. But they are so small. Who could they hunt? Maybe they don't hunt. Maybe they just don't want to share with you. Greedy, grasping, gluttonous. That? They look at you expectantly. You realize that you have inadvertently tuned out their question, wrapped up as you were in your own thoughts. Ask for more blood, ask them to repeat the question. I would ask them to repeat the question. What was that? They sigh, massaging the space between their eyebrows with their thumb and forefinger. I was asking for a name. Your name. Do you think you can remember just that one thing? That question is enough to distract you from your hunger a little. You think, a name. That should be simple. It's not like you remember nothing. You remember the walk to work and the scent of bergamot, and yet a name. It shouldn't be hard. It's a name. It's what people call you. Your friends, your family, your colleagues. Even if you can't remember any of them right now, surely you can remember this one small thing. You sift through meaningless words and sounds. None of them seem to matter, until you come across 2 words. Yes, this is it. This is yours. You sound the words out. Your own name feels foreign in your mouth, your tongue tripping over the vowels awkwardly. They do not seem surprised that it took you so long for you to remember your own name. It is common for young ones to lose their memories from before the change, temporarily. Your case seems to be particularly severe, but at least it is improving. Well, that is all for tonight. I will check on you again tomorrow. For now, do you have any questions? Ask about their society. You don't have questions. Well, we can't ask about them, probably because we irritate them. So let's ask about society. There was something regarding their society, or yours too now, that you were curious about. Ask about the change, ask about hunting, ask about the hotel. I wonder if I'll be able to answer all 3, but I'm curious about let's ask about the hunting. You said I would be able to hunt if I proved myself. Judging by your behavior today. They let out a disdainful sniff as they glanced down at the empty mugs. The empty mugs that were licked clean, resting on the table. That won't be for a long while yet. But how does hunting work? You said it's different? Well, that depends on the individual vampire and their gift. Of course, but you can be assured that none of them will do what you did. Not if they value their life, anyway. Can I get an example? Once again, they pinch the space between their brows, a sure sign that you are wearing their patience thin. For example, a vampire gifted with glamour might choose to trick their prey into thinking that the bite is no more than an ill-advised romantic liaison. The act of taking a mortal's blood is quite pleasurable for the mortal, and it blurs their memory, too, so this is a fairly common way to feed. But there is also no shame in preferring the bagged variety. You should get used to it. You will be drinking them for a while. If that is all, I will be on my way. Should you need anything else, my door is the fourth from the left on the ground floor. You may leave me a note if I am not in. With that, they head for the door, calling out their last demand behind them. Again, I would prefer it if you didn't leave the hotel today. With your daily report done, you head down the stairs. Another day, night, lies before you trapped in this hotel. Without anything to distract you, a sharp pain shoots through your stomach again, and you grip the banister for support. You slowly right yourself, still shaking, and wait for the pain to subside. You make your way over to the lobby and sit yourself down in an armchair. The cushion has long been worn down, and you can feel the wooden frame pressing against you, creaking with the slightest movement. Already you are thinking of how quickly you polished off your breakfast earlier. That was your only food for the day, and you are still so hungry. Surely that is not enough for most vampires. After all, humans eat thrice a day. Why should you be any different? Too tired and hungry to think of an itinerary for the day, you melt into the chair, letting your eyes glaze over as you stare blankly at the floor, where light from a street lamp bleeds through the window and spills onto the damaged carpeting. All these years the place has been running. You'd think they'd patch up the windows, yeah. Safety hazard, that. You barely recognize the presence of another person until they flop down into the seat next to yours, waving a hand in front of your face. It is a lady, I think. You slowly lift your head up to the sound of a delighted giggle. The owner of the voice is a girl with a head full of glossy curls and immaculate makeup. How does she manage that without the use of a mirror? You're new, aren't you? You nod in response. This is the first conversation you've had in days. Well, first conversation that doesn't feel more like a lecture. And you're not quite sure how to act. I heard you're the new rehabilitation project. Still struggling to adjust, yeah? It's like that for everyone at first. And worse if you don't have your sire to guide you through it. Ask about sires, ask where you can get more blood, ask how long it takes to adjust. I'm curious about sires, but I'm also curious about how long it takes to adjust. So, how long will it take to adjust, I mean? A few months, a few years, it really depends on the person. I will say, I don't think I've ever heard of a young one doing what you did. I am not surprised the run is keeping such a close eye on you. And are they always so... She laughs, and it's almost like she glows. You can't pull your eyes away from her. Yeah, they've always been like that. Bit of a crotchety senior citizen. So don't mind them too much, just... She breaks off, squinting at your face. Is there something on it? You reach up to have a feel self-conscious. Don't take this the wrong way, but you look awful. Did the runt not feed you today? You shake your head in response. It's a lie, but maybe you'll get something out of it. A meal, scraps, or even just pity. You'll take what you can get to sate this hunger. Yeah, you look starved. Weird. It's not like them to be so forgetful. But tell you what, I think I've got something on me. Yes, hungry. You are hungry. Your eyes light up at the prospect of food. She laughs. Is she laughing at you? And produces a packet of blood from her jacket. She tosses it to you as she shoots a sideways glance to the grandfather clock in the corner of the room. Oh, I've got to run now, but I'll see you around, Rehab. She gives you a little wave as she heads out to the front door. Rehab? Is that better or worse than being called a young one? I think I'd rather be called a young one. The slight is immediately forgotten as you tear into the blood bag. The contents spurt out, staining your clothes. Little splatters on your hands. You are careful to lap up the bits you notice before devouring the rest of the packet. The paltry packet is gone in a blink. The liquid you consume sloshes around your insides as you inspect your hands for any last traces. There is nothing left, but you still give your right hand a few fruitless licks. Your teeth ache. No, you shouldn't. You wouldn't, and yet You want to so badly. I don't want to bite my own hand, because I don't think our blood would be that delicious. You withdraw your hand from your face, and the urge slowly subsides. But the memory doesn't, and as clarity washes over you, you feel a mixture of shame and disgust. Have you really become this? Even animals have some sense of self-preservation. We didn't do that, so you shouldn't be left alone, you should be put down like a beast. Okay, I don't think we deserve to be put down, so we'll do the middle. Shaking, you take a deep breath and stand up. Clearly, you're unable to be left alone right now. Maybe you should go find them again. At least there will be someone to keep you in check. Forced from the left, you knock, but there's no response. You try a second time, but still nothing. You step inside, careful to close the door behind you. The room is empty. Maybe they just stepped out. You decide to wait for them. Hopefully they'll return soon, but for the time being, you suppose you can try to distract yourself with idle curiosity. This is a rare glimpse into their life, after all. We are going to get caught. The first thing that catches your eye is the row of windows. Not only are they boarded up, they are fitted with what seems like blackout curtains. They're the paranoid type. Hardly surprising. Other than that, the contents of the room aren't much different to yours, except, of course, in far better condition. The bed is made, although a few changes of clothes are strewn on top of the duvet. So they do have a messy side to them, after all. Continuing your investigation, you find that the lamp on the bedside table is dust-free, and within the closet hangs a row of impeccably tailored clothing. Not particularly exciting discoveries. You even take a quick look into their bathroom, testing out the knobs on their bathtub. Of course, theirs works. But the main thing they've got that you haven't is a desk, overflowing with papers. Your head swirls just trying to skim through them, until something catches your eye. A small memo pad. The top sheet has 2 words written on it. They are familiar. It is your name. You reach for it, but something stops you. The sound of approaching footsteps. See, told you we were caught. You freeze in place for a second. But they did say you could find them, right? You were just here waiting for them. Nothing wrong with that. The footsteps stop just outside the door. They do not come in. Instead, there is a knock. You wonder if you should respond, but it's not them, right? They wouldn't be knocking on the door of their own room. So you wait. The person on the other side of the door knocks again, and still, you stay quiet. Finally, you hear a rustling sound. Something being slid under the door. You creep over to get a look. It is a slim file. Through the door, you hear them head off back down the hallway, and you gingerly pick up the file, flipping it over so you can see the front. Your name is written on it. You immediately open it. It seems that they compiled a dossier on you, but there isn't much aside from some basic information. Your name is printed at the very top of the sheet as well. And wow, you did not remember that being your middle name. You go down the list. Age, gender, height. There's nothing particularly interesting until you get to the bottom of the page. An address. Your address, presumably. The thought of a home fills you with a giddy excitement. Oh. They said that you weren't to leave the hotel today, but this would just be a quick trip. You'll be home and back before they even notice. All you want is to learn a little bit more about yourself. Who were you, rather than what you were made into? Having an idea of who you are beyond this hunger will help you cling to stability, you're sure of it. It had to be a sign. You were struggling so hard just a few moments ago, coming to seek help, and this file being delivered while you were here. It was all leading you to this. You scrap bits of your humanity, your name, your address. A lifeboat in this sea you have found yourself cast into, and you are taking it. What would it be like to return home? Would there be someone to answer the door? Worry on their face fading into relief as they lay eyes on you. You have to know. You close the file and feel something that doesn't quite seem like paper. You open it back up. A silver key is taped to the back of the file. Yes, you think to yourself, as you detach the key from the paper. It must be a sign. Set the file back where you found it. It was face down, placed just so, right? And prepare to set out into the night. I don't think that's a good idea. I see we're just going for it. You clutch your prize to your chest as you walk fast, head down, avoiding people on the street. The address is clear in your mind. It is not far. The hunger still calls to you, but this new knowledge gives you strength. You cling to your name. You cling to the home you are returning to. You are not a monster. You will learn. On the way, you pass by the alley where you first awoke. Out of curiosity, you crane your neck to get a good look. There is no police tape, no white outline. They must have taken care of it. You turn away, picking up the pace of your footsteps. The night is cold and you have no jacket, but the warmth of home awaits you. Finally, you arrive. A gate separates the building from the street. You do not remember the combination to the padlock, and so you hoist yourself up over it. The key fits into the lock easily. Steeling yourself, you step inside. You're not sure what you expected, but this feels right. You shut the door behind you and flick the light switch on. Is anyone else here? Are they asleep? Man, for our sake, I hope they're not, because we're going to instantly, attack them. I'm home. There is no shuffling sound as someone rushes out of bed to greet you. No jingling of a collar as a beloved pet bounds over. So you lived alone, after all. And yet, a vague feeling tells you this isn't the case. A faint memory of Bergamot. You peer into the open doorways from the vestibule where you are stood. Living room, kitchen, and just around the corner, what you assume to be a bedroom and a bathroom. An altogether average and modest home, but it's yours. You wonder what they intended to do with the key and the file. Did they mean to clean things up here like they did in the alley? Maybe they intended for you to become another unsolved disappearance, sweeping your very existence under the rug in the name of protecting their secrecy. That thought troubles you, irritates you, anger bubbling over, and no, it's not anger, but you're still hungry. Even here, your stomach rumbles, the sound filling the empty flat. Let's look around, because this place isn't going to have food. Not blood, at least. You push the hunger to the back of your mind. It strains against you, fighting, but you fight back. You came in here in search of your humanity, and you will get it. Let's go to the living room. You step through into the living room proper. The two things of note here. The two things that suggest at a personality and hobbies are a digital piano and a bookcase. I can't play the piano for the life of me. Let's check the bookcase. You seem to have been a voracious reader. There isn't a single empty space on the shelves. You recognize that same book you saw in the library. True to your guess, you must have loved it. The spine of the book is weak, the book practically falling apart as you gently tug it out from its place. Dog ears mark sections that must have really connected with you. You should try to read that book again when you return, if you can get your hunger to subside. Let's check the piano. You press the power button, and the display on the keyboard lights up. Your hands hover over the keys with uncertainty. You had expected muscle memory to kick in, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Oh. You push down on a key, and a single note plays through the built-in speaker. Beyond that, you have no idea what to do. Was this a recent purchase? Maybe you intended to start learning. Let's investigate another room. Let's go to the bathroom. I feel like the bedroom's the last place we should go. Oh, but the bathroom might have a mirror, and it might make a spiral. Decisions. Let's just go down we'll go down the line. Let's go to the bathroom. The bedroom doesn't contain anything out of the ordinary. In fact, it's quite sparse. Little more than a bed and a set of drawers. Let's inspect the bed. The sheets on the double bed are rumpled. Duvet tossed aside. Were you the messy sort, or did you just not get the chance to make the bed before whatever happened to you? The bed looks so cozy, so inviting, you can't resist and let your body fall down on it. It is far more comfortable than the rickety cot and thin mattress you've been sleeping on as of late, and the sheets smell faintly of bergamot. Still, it wouldn't do to fall asleep here, and with great effort you pull yourself back up. Let's open the drawer. The clothes in the drawer are pristine and folded away neatly. You look down at yourself dressed in a shabby, moth-eaten outfit. How'd you love to go through your clothes here, pick something out that fits properly, something that doesn't scratch at your skin. But they'd know, wouldn't they? They'd realize that you left. Well, I'm sure they already know we left. You close the drawer with a sigh. Okay, now we can go to the bathroom. The bathroom is a bathroom. You're not sure what you expected. Let's see. Look behind the shower curtain, check the sink. I'm surprised we're not checking in the mirror. That's probably when we check the sink. You pull back the shower curtain, nothing hiding behind it. Just some run-of-the-mill toiletries. You wish you could take them with you. Okay. You give the sink a quick scan. There's soap, toothpaste, and two toothbrushes in a little plastic cup. Wait, 2 toothbrushes. Does this mean that you had a partner? Did they live here too, or did they just stay over sometimes? Your heart pounds in your chest. Are they out on the streets right now looking for you? They must be worried sick. I'm surprised we're not checking the mirror. Interesting. Maybe you'll be able to find more clues about your partner in another room. Emboldened with a new goal, a new purpose, you turn to leave, and what is that in the peripherals of your vision? We have no choice but to look, so I'm assuming it's the mirror. Yep. You look at yourself in the mirror. Your reflection is clear and crisp. Your eyes are wide, and your face still speckled with blood despite your best attempts earlier to clean yourself off. Called off guard, you empty your stomach of its contents. Blood splatters onto the floor and onto your hands. You hazard another glance at the mirror. Your hair sticks to your sickly skin, damp with sweat, but there is no doubt this is you. You are a monster. Oh, Ind 5AU. Interesting. Huh. I wonder what the other endings were then. I don't know. Oh, I don't think I saved good enough to get any other different endings. But I also don't have time to do another ending. Okay, so I might come back and do another ending. We'll see. But thank you all so much for watching. This was Pangs You Are Hungry. If this interests you any, you can play it for free on Itch.io or Itch.io, however you want to pronounce it. It was really good. I liked it. The sound effects of the swallowing was something, but so that wasn't bad though. But I hope you all have a good rest of the night, and I will see you all when I see you soon. Bye.